Well, this morning we're celebrating the Feast of the Epiphany, and you may more commonly know it as the Three Kings Day or the Feast of the Three Kings. But in our gospel, there's only one king who appears, and it's not one of the three kings, it's King Herod. So why do we call it Three Kings Day? Well, the three kings refer to the Magi, the wise men, who appear in the gospel, and that word magi sounds a lot like our word for magician. They were more courtly scholars, more like grand viziers than royals. But there are some reasons why we go into calling them kings. And they come from the distant east, and we always love them as a part of our creches. They're exotic, they look different. They don't seem to quite fit with the shepherds and the donkeys and the cattle. They're wearing these festive garments. And why do they appear in the gospel? Well, Matthew is a gospel primarily written to the Jewish people. So it's very strange that we have these three visitors, or many visitors, who come to bring homage to Christ. And there's a couple things about them that are important. One, they're pagans. They are not worshipers of the God of Israel as far as we know. They come from the ends of the earth and they're Gentiles, and yet Matthew is the most Jewish of the Gospels. So why do they appear here? Well, Matthew is using this literary device called a bookend, and we've seen this in films and literature of all sorts. And at the end of Matthew's Gospel, Jesus gives this great commission where he sends the disciples out from Jerusalem to the ends of the earth, to the Gentiles, to people who are not quite like the Jewish people. But at the beginning of the Gospel, we see these Gentiles coming from the ends of the earth to Israel, to Bethlehem, where the King of the Jews is to be born. And why would Matthew choose to do this in such a Jewish gospel? I think what he wants to make clear is, as much as Jesus is the King of the Jews, that theme appears throughout our text, that he's not just the King of the Jews, he's the King of all people. All of us are welcome. And I think about everyone that comes to this island for vacation, for rest. We have people from all over the world. Instead of coming on camels, they come on yachts. Out in the harbor, someone said there was 150 yachts with flags flying from all over the world. And there may not be kings, but there are the kings of industry, the titans of industry, and they've all come to this place. And in spite of all of it, in the joy and the festivity, you are here tuning in today. Like the kings, you have journeyed to this sacred place to find the Christ child. And the thing that we're reminded is, doesn't matter who we are, doesn't matter if we're rich or poor, doesn't matter if we're black or white, doesn't matter if we're a visitor to the island, if we're a resident here, all of us, whoever we are welcome to come and pay him homage. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey, wherever you're seeking, you are welcome. But there's a flip side to the coin too, right? Because you never come to a king empty-handed. These magi, and they say there's three of them because there's three gifts, but who knows? Maybe they all pulled together on a gift. I don't know. They may have been from St. Bart's. They bring gold and two types of cologne, right? They bring gold, frankincense, and myrrh to the Christ child. And Christ is not here today, so it's not like we can come and bring gifts. Though, of course, we can give gifts to the poor or gifts to the church or other charities. But we are required when we come into the presence of the King to bring a gift. And it's a costly gift. Those wise men, those magi, they traveled over many distances across the desert, through winds and rains and possibly snow. Who knows? All sorts of things to get to Bethlehem. They even got a little deterrent when they thought they were going to Jerusalem. They then had to switch gears to Bethlehem. But the main thing is that it costs something to come into the presence of the King. And so when we are on our spiritual journey, there are many turns, there are many twists that we go on, and it can cost us something. So while all are welcome, it's not an easy thing just to walk up to come and find the King. And that can discourage many of us. But I would encourage you, don't be discouraged. That means you're on the right track. When you're spiritually searching, there will be some dead ends. There will be some roundabouts. There will be some 180s you need to do. And you'll find your way to Christ the King. And what gift can we bring to Christ? the gift we can bring, the most costly gift of all, is ourselves. And that's what we're doing in the Eucharist. We're not just offering crackers and wine. We are offering ourselves and believing that we ourselves are being given to God. We're paying homage to him. The end of the text, it says that they returned to their country by another road. They didn't go back the way they came. And so anyone is welcome to enter the spiritual journey. It will cost us something on the spiritual journey, even our very selves. But then on the way back, we go a different way. We're changed after encountering the Christ child, after being in the presence of the Holy. And as we enter this new year, my question for you is, are you on the spiritual journey? I think yes, because you're tuning in. What is it costing you to be on the spiritual journey? And my final question, what different road might you take as you seek to follow Christ, having been changed by being in his presence? Amen.